It is difficult to pick just one favorite fishing hole for Sid Wilcox because anywhere he went fishing was the best place to be. However, if his wife Carol would have to pick just one, it would probably be Pomme de Terre Lake near Morris. The lake was one of the first places his parents took him fishing and one of the last lakes he fished with some of his fishing buddies. Sid was born on September 17, 1936, in Stevens County. He was the only child of Urban and Luella Wilcox from Donnelly. The family lived on a farm 1 mile west of Donnelly. Sid's theory of why he had no siblings was when you get perfection the first time, there's no need to try again. Sid was quite small at birth, so his dad fixed a box to put in the warming oven of the cook stove. Sid called this his own private incubator. His father delivered milk, bartended, and later managed the Donnelly liquor store, and his mother was a teller for the Farmers and Merchants Bank in Donnelly. Sid loved to share stories about his days on the farm and growing up in Donnelly. One of his favorites was about his mule, Jenny. His dad purchased the mule for Sid to ride into town. Sid was in second grade and a little too short to get on easily, so when he went to town, he would tie the mule to the monkey bars on the playground. Then, when he was ready to get back on Jenny, he could jump from the monkey bars to the mule. As a teenager, Sid did some carpentry work and helped his dad do some trapping. He learned quickly and picked up on his father's example for good work ethic. He also learned how to hunt and fish. Sid shared a story with his family about his first gun that he kept, and just before his passing in 2016, he gave it to his great-grandson, Tate. At the end of the letter, Sid asked Tate to remember to be very careful around guns. The great-grandfather also hoped that Tate would love hunting and fishing as much as he did.
And this is the gun, Sid's first gun. And he said, when I was 14 years old, I lived in Donnelly with my dad and mom. One day I went into the gamble store and saw a gun that I really wanted. It was a .22 tubular feed rifle. I thought it would be a gun for shooting gophers and small game. I went into the store many times a week to be sure it was still there and no one else had bought it. When summer came, it was still there, so I decided to mow lawns and save my money until I had enough to buy the treasured gun. I was able to save $15, but still didn't have quite enough to buy the gun. My dad was tired of hearing about the gun, so he gave me $4 more, and I was able to buy the gun for $19. When I was much older, in my 20s, I decided to do some carving on the gun. Can you show them the carving? I decided to put my initials on it. I started the job but didn't finish it. You will see what I did if you look at it. Tate, I want you to have this gun so you can shoot gophers when you're old enough. Remember, be very careful around guns.
At the age of 7, the Wilcox family moved into Donnelly, and Sid attended Donnelly Elementary and 1 year in Alberta. He graduated from Morris High School in 1954. He met his future wife Carol at a dance at the Donnelly Hall. The most popular music of the time was waltzes and jitterbugs. Many of their dates were spent roller skating in Norcross or going to dances. After high school, Sid moved to Moorhead, where Carol was attending Moorhead State University. She later got a teaching job in Moorhead. The two were married in 1955. Sid got an apprenticeship through the Fargo Painters Union. While in the program, he was part of what was supposed to take 3 years, but he got it done in 2. He then spent 1 year as a journeyman before deciding to start his own business. The couple moved back to Morris, and in November 1959, West Central Decorating started. He partnered with his brother-in-law, Lowell Wilkins. They worked out of a 1938 Chevy van, and his first painting job was 2 apartments above what is now Munsterman Accounting. The partnership dissolved when Wilkins moved to Arizona. Later, Sid purchased a building and changed the name to Wilcox Decorating. Sid went on to do a lot of commercial work, including many of the buildings on the University of Minnesota Morris campus. In addition, many of the Main Street businesses in Morris have been marked by Sid's brush. He was known for his special ability to match colors. Soon the family grew. Jeff was the first to arrive. He is married to Kathy, and they own Wilcox Precision in Morris. Second-born, Kirby, and his wife Pat purchased the painting business from Sid and now own their own decorating business in Alexandria. Daughter Jamie is a hairdresser in Morris. Along with her husband Joel, they own and operate the Morris Motel. The Wilcoxes have 3 grandchildren, Stephanie and Scott Olson, Sydney and Mac Campmeyer, and Mac and Zosho Beyer. They also have 3 great-grandchildren, Brenna, Jaden, and Tate. During this time, Sid continued to pursue his passion for hunting and fishing. He often went on fishing trips with fishing buddies Merle Peterson, Tom Dahl, John Scharf, Joe Beyer, and his favorite partner, grandson Mac Beyer. These fishing buddies went on many trips to Canada and other fishing destinations. He spent many years on fishing leagues and participating in fishing contests, bringing home numerous awards. The fishermen almost always had good luck, but Wilcox claimed his luck changed after somebody threw his lucky fishing hat in the lake. None of his buddies claimed the deed, but did remember some great times fishing and good advice offered by the pro. One fishing buddy once asked him if he had been fishing much during the week. Sid responded, "No, I was only able to go 5 or 6 times." In fact, Sid's fishing abilities garnered him a special honor in May of 1992 when he was invited to be a guide at the governor's fishing opener led by Governor Arnie Carlson. Sid and his fishing clients managed to catch 8 crappies on Lobster Lake near Alexandria. One of Sid's hobbies was collecting hunting and fishing memorabilia. This began in the late 1960s with most of his collection in the fishing category. This includes old lures, boat motors, rods, reels, nets, fish cleaning products, and many more items. One of his prized possessions is a hand-powered Manotrol Motors trolling motor. He saw this item on eBay but was not the successful bidder. The item didn't sell, so he contacted the seller directly, and she agreed to sell it to him and even ship it for free. Sid went to many flea markets, auction sales, and watched the internet to increase his collection. He also received several items as gifts from friends and family. In a lighted box in the midst of the basement collection, Sid displays some of his most prized pieces. This includes 8 wood lures, a gift from John Scharf just weeks before he died from a serious heart condition. John gave him the lures and said he knew that Sid would never sell them. He never did, and just weeks before his own death due to cancer, he carried on the tradition, giving the lures to Tom Dahl and Merle Peterson. A unique find for Wilcox was an old fish cleaning device. You would put the fish in the bucket of the device, which had several blades inside. After tying the bucket to the back of the boat, you would drive for a while, and when you stopped, the fish would be totally free of scales. Sid also enjoyed carving and created some beautiful life-sized birds. He enjoyed the best coffee in town and many good card games with friends. Every morning he was able at DeToy's in Morris. Sid followed politics closely and was a staunch Republican, collecting GOP mugs for many years. Carol shared that he would probably be smiling at the election results.
Even though Sid's passion was fishing and collecting memorabilia for his ever-growing display of everything fishing, he had several other interests as well. During the 1960s and 70s, Sid was a snowmobile enthusiast and was actively involved in starting the first snowmobile club in the Morris area. He helped organize many local trail rides and snowmobile races on Lake Crystal. Many Sunday afternoons found him with Jeff and Kirby racing their Polaris on the lake. He was proud to be a charter member of the 9F Sportsman Club in Morris and the Donnelly Rod and Gun Club. He was an active member of the Morris JCs and held local and state offices, attended local, state, and national meetings and conventions, and served as a JCI senator. Sid had a sincere interest in local politics and a commitment to what he believed was good for his community, never shying away from honest conversation or debate on topics he felt strongly about. Sid was a longtime member of the Faith Lutheran Church in Morris, where he served on the church council. He also co-chaired the building committee in the 1980s, joining a multitude of others in donating many hours of his time and skills to the construction of Faith's new church. Sid's interests were wide and varied, but his lifetime passion was the challenge of catching fish.
In April of 2015, Sid encountered a fight that he could not win. He was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer that had spread to his liver. He was given 2 months to live. He put up a good fight and lived 11 months. During that time, he had many bonus days, as he called them. He was able to attend his granddaughter Sydney's wedding, live for another birthday and Christmas, and celebrate their 60th wedding anniversary. Sid also made some special gifts and planned his funeral. He gave his precious boat to grandson Mac, the same boat that was used to take first place in the 2016 Fishing League. The men and boys in the family each received a gun, and great-grandson Tate got that very special gun. He often said that a benefit of cancer was that he could take care of loose ends. He wrote a letter to his family and friends that was read at his funeral, which shared how proud he was of them. Great-granddaughter Jaden Olson wrote a poem about Sid for a school assignment.
Oh, Grandpa, I love you. You put a smile on my face. You make a gloomy day a sunny day. You remind me of fishing. Every day you would fish if you could. You would help anyone in need. You loved to tell stories. You took me fishing to a special spot. The water was blue that day. We were in the shade. I caught my first fish. Even though it wasn't big, it was special. It was special because I caught it with you, and it will be the best fish I ever caught. Even though I've only caught 2, I'll always remember that day. With the sun shone down and we were in the shade, I caught a sunny, my first fish.
Sid Wilcox was definitely a keeper, both here and for eternity. And while he shared his life with many, he also shared so much more. He often said if his children were contributing citizens and paying taxes, he had done something right. His advice to others was how he lived. Work hard, treat people with respect, don't sweat the small stuff, and go fishing every chance you get.